Hey guys, Justin here of YugaTech, and a couple of days ago, Huawei released one of its most affordable mid-range smartphones, the Y7a. Many people, including us of course, were impressed with its specs considering that it comes with such a budget-friendly price tag. But does the Y7a deserve a spot in a room where Realme and Xiaomi smartphones lead as most people's top choices for a bang-for-the-buck smartphone? We'll see. Undoubtedly, the Y7a is one of the prettiest and attractive smartphones we've seen. It comes in this subtle pink gradient with its faint pink tinge in the middle. No wonder this colorway is called blush gold. It does look like blush. However, it's prone to fingerprint smudges and scratches due to its glossy coat, so users might have to slap on a jelly case to remedy that. The body is made up of plastic, but it feels premium and solid. We love its slim profile and holding it feels comfortable. It also comes with quite a heft at 206 grams. Checking out its rear, we get the vertically stacked 48-megapixel AI quad camera setup along with the Huawei branding. Up front, we see a rather large dot notch in the middle of the screen that houses the front camera and the call speaker and sensors on top of it. We have the volume keys and the power or lock button acting as the fingerprint sensor on the right side. The buttons feel sturdy and have a tactile feel to it. On the left, we have a triple card slot that can accommodate a dual nano SIM and a dedicated micro SD card. Then up top, we get a noise cancelling microphone, while down below there's the USB Type-C port, the primary microphone, the 3.5mm audio port, and a single speaker grill. For display, the Y7a sports a 6.67-inch Full HD Plus IPS display with a resolution of 2400 by 1080. As far as quality goes, it's great. The colors are vibrant and punchy, it's got a widescreen real estate, so users will definitely enjoy watching content on this phone. There's also the option to hide the notch just in case it bothers you. Users can also tweak the settings by adjusting the screen's color mode and temperature to their liking and changing the screen's resolution to either high or low to consume less battery. In our case, we mostly use the smart resolution as it adapts when it will automatically lower the resolution when it has to. As for audio quality, it's actually not that bad. It's loud and clear, though there's a noticeable distortion when the volume is set at max. But other than that, it's enough for casual listening. Running the Y7a is EMUI 10.1 based on Android 10. One thing we don't like with EMUI is its bloatware. From the get-go, we get several apps waiting to download. While we have the option to delete them, deleting them one by one can be cumbersome. But on the bright side, navigation is easy and users get nifty features like multi-window, which is especially useful when multitasking. Users can also take a screenshot by knocking on the screen with a knuckle. Knock once for taking screenshots and knock twice for taking screen record. Nice. There's also a Huawei Assistant that shows you AI tips, a newsfeed, and other services that you can personally customize. As we have mentioned time and time again, Huawei doesn't use Google mobile services. But don't worry, as there's the Huawei App Gallery to download all the apps you need. Some of the new top apps you can find here include Speed Test, Gcash, TikTok, VLC, and Foodpanda. There's also the Petal Search widget that allows you to install apps not only from the Huawei App Gallery but also from official and third-party websites. It also provides suggestions and trending apps information. This is very useful. The Y7a is powered with a high silicon Kirin 710A chip coupled with 4GB of RAM, a Mali J51 MP4 GPU, and 128GB of internal storage. Performance-wise, launching and loading apps is fast. However, it isn't that snappy. What we do is turn off the advanced visual effects since the animation and blur adds loading time. But that's just our preference. Even so, navigation is smooth and multitasking is a breeze. As for gaming, we tried playing Genshin Impact at the highest possible settings, and as expected, it's laggy and suffers from frame drops. We tried setting it to medium and we often encounter stutters too. Also, the back gets pretty hot after a long time. For benchmarks, we'll flash it on screen now. For biometrics and security, we get a side-mounted fingerprint scanner and face recognition. Both of them work fast. And we'd also like to note that the face recognition works even when we're wearing a mask, though it's not as responsive and quick. It also doesn't work if you're in a pitch black room, but then again, you have the fingerprint scanner for that. When it comes to connectivity, the Y7a comes with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.1, GPS, and 4G LTE. It offers a massive 5000 mAh battery with 22.5 Huawei Supercharge. With this, hands down, you get an impressive battery life on this phone. It could last us a day or two on a single charge, which involves playing games and browsing on our social media. It can even last longer if you lower the display resolution. As for charging, it took us less than nearly 2 hours, probably around an hour and 45 minutes for it to be fully replenished. In the PC Mark's battery test, the phone got a score of 22 hours and 30 minutes. Meanwhile, in our standard video loop test, it yielded an impressive 24 hours and 10 minutes. Okay, let's finally talk about cameras. The Huawei Y7a gets a quad rear camera setup consisting of a 48-megapixel main, an 8-megapixel 120 degrees ultra-wide, a 2-megapixel depth, and a 2-megapixel macro. It also comes with a 6x zoom. Meanwhile, for selfies, it comes with an 8-megapixel shooter. It also comes with a bunch of camera features including aperture, night mode, portrait, pro, slow-mo, panorama, light painting, and high resolution to name a few. We tried its AI lens feature, which is similar to Google Lens, and it wasn't the quickest. The instant translation isn't instantaneous to say the least, and the calorie counter doesn't sometimes recognize food and is seldom inaccurate. But the good news though is that the rest of the AI features work fast. Now for image quality, they're good. It comes with the right amount of sharpness, though color reproduction seems a bit saturated, even with AI turned off. Basically, what the AI does is boost the image's saturation, and at times, there's not much difference with it turned off or on. So we prefer just having it turned off most of the time. The ultra-wide lens also does a pretty decent job, and we appreciate that it doesn't produce much distortion. The 6x zoom isn't terrible either, as you can see. In low-light situations, photos came out muddy and noisy, mostly when you use the ultra-wide lens. As you can see from these two photos, the night mode isn't much of a help, though there are instances that shots look pretty decent with the night mode on. For bokeh, we like it. It has an excellent background to subject separation, and users can go as low as f.95 for that creamy bokeh effect. It also comes with a high-resolution feature that stays true to its name. It comes with many details, a better dynamic range, and more flattering color reproduction. Now for selfies, they're okay. Like what we mentioned with the rear cameras, the colors look saturated and frequently the skin tone doesn't look natural. Nonetheless, you can still get decent selfies with this phone. Now for videos, it can shoot up to 1080p at 60 frames per second for the rear and 1080p at 30 frames per second for the front camera. Just in case you're wondering, there's no support for EIS, so better keep your hands steady to avoid shaky footage. And as far as quality goes, it's pretty average. We get relatively good footage in daylight, but don't expect much at night. It's muddy and peppered with noise. Okay, so for our final thoughts, we think that when it comes to bang for your buck smartphones, most consumers' first choice would probably be either from Realme or Xiaomi. However, we think the Huawei Y7a is a strong contender for this segment. For 8,999 pesos, you're actually getting good specs, including a full HD Plus display, a decent processor, a 48-megapixel quad camera setup, and not to mention, it's got an amazing battery life. Of course, it also comes with few shortcomings like not being able to play graphically intensive games smoothly at high settings, and lacking some stabilization for videos. At this point, we don't think that the lack of Google mobile services is much of a disadvantage since the app gallery and the petal search widgets offer most of the apps you need. But I'll be honest with you, it can still be a challenge to download native Google apps. We really understand where the reluctance is coming from, but it would be a waste not to give the Y7a a chance. Seriously. And there you have it. What about you guys? What are your thoughts on the Huawei Y7a? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we'd like to share that Huawei just launched its official e-commerce platform, the Huawei Store. Here you can shop all authentic Huawei products without any worries as every transaction is safe. You can also pay any way you want. There's cash on delivery, credit cards, and e-wallets like GCash, Alipay, or WeChat. So what are you waiting for? Don't forget to check out the Huawei Store to buy all your favorite Huawei devices and sign up now to redeem your 500 pesos voucher. Tell your friends and family as well. We'll put the link in the description box. So yeah, again, give us a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads, and be sure to visit YugaTech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Once again, this is Justin, and don't forget to wash your hands and stay at home.